candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather around the table, we'll give you a treat. So people need to play with and lots of sweets. And while we are playing.
Chag friends, and welcome to night 6 of Hanukkah. Tonight we're going to talk about the power of investing. And we're going to go to Ecclesiastes chapter 11. We're going to read from verse 1. It says, "Ship your grain across the sea. After many days you may receive a return. Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land." Now, last night we spoke about the importance of becoming aware of work in a new perspective. We talked about the fact that yes, work can become burdensome and wearisome sometimes. However, it's important for us to begin to see work in a new light. As the people of God, we should see work as an act of worship. And even though in the book of Ecclesiastes, Solomon talks about how toil can be seen as meaningless, he also gave some clues as to how our toil can become meaningful. So one of the things he recommends in the book is that we begin to give God thanks for the fact that we are able to work, and that God has also given us the power to enjoy work. He talks a lot about the importance of finding balance in work. So work is not only about working all the time, but it is also important to eat, drink, enjoy friendship, enjoy fellowship, and have a wonderful time in enjoying the fruit of your labor. He also spoke about the importance of having friends and companionship. You know, people who you are able to share the fruit of your hard labor with, because in these ways an individual can find fulfillment. In a strange way, he says that there really is no joy and fulfillment if you are not working for something or working for someone. Now, the power to invest is another way that we can find meaning in our work, because we're investing, meaning that we're being good stewards of what God has given to us. So in chapter 11, he says, listen, ship your grains across the sea. Some translations say cast your bread upon the waters, because in time it will come back to you. In time you will reap a return on your investment. Now in the book of Proverbs, it tells us that the wise man will leave a legacy for his children. So one of the reasons why it's important to invest is that we are able to leave a legacy for those who we love. Like I said before, in the book of Ecclesiastes, Solomon talks about the fact that if we're only working for ourselves, there really is no fulfillment in that. But there is a fulfillment that comes from knowing that you are working for a reason. So he says, invest, because there is a return on your investment. Not only invest, he says, but you are to diversify. Meaning that don't put all your eggs in one basket. Invest in different projects, invest in different things, because this is a way that life can become meaningful to you. He says, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. So we know the proverbial saying, do not put all your eggs in one basket. And it's the same thing that Solomon is here saying. He says, do not put your eggs in one basket. You need to diversify. Now, I'd like for us to go to one of my favorite verses in the book of Ecclesiastes, and that's verse 4. It says, whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. So for example, an individual might say, oh, when I have a certain amount of money in the bank, I will begin to invest. Or when I have a certain amount of money, I will begin to save. Or when I have a certain amount of money, I will do this or that. Solomon says, if you're waiting on the perfect time, it's not going to happen. You have to just know when to take the risk. Investment is all about risk taking. You have to know when to step out there and say, I'm going to begin to do this. He says, if you sit and watch the wind, you will not plant. And if you sit and watch the clouds, you will not reap. You just have to take the leap of faith. Now, as we're talking about investments, I have to share with you a very powerful thing that the Lord showed to me as I was preparing for this particular step. And he actually spoke to me in a vision one night. So in this vision, I saw a lot of luxury items, clothes, handbags, all of these different luxury items. And I heard vanity, and a striving after the wind. And we know that this is one of the themes in the book of Ecclesiastes, where Solomon is saying certain things are temporary, certain things are vanity. And so when I got this picture of all of these different luxury items and so on, the Ruach HaKodesh said vanity, meaningless. Why? Because these things will pass away. But, do you want to hear something fascinating? He followed that up by saying, when you help a young mother to take care of her child, that's an act of investing. He was saying that there's nothing wrong with having nice things. However, there is another level of investment that we need to be aware of. When you invest in a young mother who needs help with her kid, it's an investment in the kingdom of God. So while we are encouraged to invest in physical activities and in material things, we're encouraged to invest financially. Let us also remember that investment is also about what we invest in the spirit. Yeshua also said, be sure to store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. In other words, be sure to invest in heaven. Be sure to invest in the things of the kingdom. So again, our step for tonight is understanding the power of investment, becoming aware of the importance of investment. But we're not only to be focusing on investment in a physical sense, but remember, it is only what we do for God that will last. Nothing under the sun is going to last forever. Our focus is always to be about what happens above the sun, which means what happens on a spiritual level, because that is what will last. Thank you so much for having joined us on this 6th night of Hanukkah. Hag Sameach.
Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather around the table, we'll give you a treat. There's evil mean to play with and laugh as we do. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed, a sweet light to remind us of days long ago.